and based off of evidence that I can see with my own two eyes.
Why don't you look at all the athletes, professional athletes out there that are vegan?
There's a handful of them compared to, literally millions of athletes that do have an animal-based diet and are, in a lot of cases, a lot more physically fit. I mean, there are some vegan
There are
athletes,
a
but
ton of.
they're kind of gaunt. And some of them do have muscle, but a lot of those muscular vegans
If
take
it weren't so
steroids.
stylish to be so big and buff as a man,
I don't care to be that way
then
either.
people would be like, yeah, look at that vegan looks cool. It's like, who cares what it looks like if it's about being ethical? Like, that's where I think what disappoints me a little bit about people is people don't seem to care about doing the right thing, like what's right or wrong, when we don't have to.
Well,
Like,
it's just a matter of people disagreeing with the fact that it's a matter of if you have to or
you
not.
wouldn't kill people wouldn't kill a dog, so why is it okay to kill a pig or a cow?
People wouldn't kill it.
They're just as smart and they're just as they're just
People
as
wouldn't
sweet.
kill a dog in this country, but we put a dog's life over other animals' lives, and other people put, a cow's life over a dog's life in
I
other
would never
countries.
kill, like, if I saw someone go and kill an animal, I'd be like, that person's a psychopath nowadays,
Yeah,
like in this
everybody would
age.
be,
So it's like
unless it's
people are just kind of cowards then. Like they're gonna go pay for someone else killed this thing. They're gonna eat this animal. People used to be cannibals at some point. There's a lot of insane things that people have done throughout history.
there's small portions of people that were cannibals, and
I mean,
certain
that's a
points in time
stupid
people
point
would
to make because that's
cannibalize.
not even an important point. But like, people were slave owners at one point. There are a lot of things that people done throughout history that were just unethical and morally.
Well, yeah, but when it comes to
So
your diet and what your body requires and what your body would run on most optimally, it's not a
that's the
matter
only
of
argument people have nowadays. It's
yeah,
like,
and what
well,
you eat is a big
like
topic of how your life will go.
that's how people try and keep their habits because
All I know
I
is
just
that
don't
I've
have the
eaten
energy
meat.
to argue about things that I've heard a million times and I'm like, it's
Well, yeah,
so.
but again, at the end of the day, if you get the results and you show me you can get in phenomenal shape, have a ton of energy, go to your job every day and do everything like to tip top shape, then I will have the evidence in front of me like, oh wow, this is actually really working well for her, and maybe she has a good point, but
Yeah,
it's been quite the
when I
opposite
was
for
living
you.
with dad and I had a vegan and I was going to the gym every day and I had a vegan diet, I was the happiest and healthiest I've ever been. I
Well, you're
was like,
living with me now. Why don't you go to the gym every day? Why don't
because
you?
I'm working on it, Jake. I'm
Well,
recovering
that's
from a
my
lot.
point.
I'm
It's hard to
recovering.
take your word
Do
for
you
it when
want to
you're not
hear the
able to.
answer? Because I'm recovering a lot from a lot of trauma and I'm exhausted from what I've been through. You don't even know what I've been
Well,
through. So
that's what I mean, I've said this before, but that's what I've been hearing for like 10 years. You're exhausted from trauma and things like that. And I'm not saying what you're feeling is not what you're feeling, but at the end of the day, like I can't know what's going on in your head. All I can look at is the results of what you've done and what you have achieved and what what your health is showing based off of my viewpoint, you know? What I can see is that the diet that I do right now has given me everything I need and more. I mean, I'm in way better shape than 99% of people on the planet.
but this is where we don't agree. Is like, it's just me, it's wrong to kill another animal. That's like, I would never want to kill an animal. They're
Right, and
innocent, they deserve to live their life. I don't deserve, it's not fair for me to take their life from them. And especially when I can find another means of sustenance. And especially nowadays when they have the technology to make high protein, like plant-based alternatives to people's favorite animal foods. Like, to me, that is just, there's no excuse for killing another animal. Like,
right, and that's to
that's not
you.
okay.
To you, there's no excuse, and to you, that's how you feel. And I respect that. I really do. And that's the way I think you should continue living that way if that's how you truly
Spiritually
feel.
and ethically, like, if I'm depressed now, which, like, I don't think I'm necessarily depressed, I'm just going through something, but I wouldn't ever forgive myself. I would never, like, I would be super depressed. Like, I probably wouldn't even be alive if I was eating animal products. Because it's like, at least if I'm feeling sad or depressed, at the very least, I'm not hurting someone else.
Well, consider this. Like, let's say, just for the sake of talking about it, let's say a shark or sharks became, you know, self-aware like people are. Like, they became to where, like, the level of intelligence people are. You know, sharks or lions or any of your carnivores.
You mean civilized, apparently.
Civilized, yeah, or just able to comprehend all the things that you're thinking about right now. And a young shark girl says, "Man, I really don't want to eat these fish because I have compassion for them, but you know, what else do I eat? I'm eating seaweed and I'm eating, you know, whatever else is in the ocean that is not a living creature." But that shark, being a carnivore, ends up dying along the road because their moral qualms about what they're eating. It's like, yeah, they understand that I don't want to kill another thing because that's not fair, but it's like the reality of the universe that we live in, it requires, based on your biology, that you consume something else. And the universe, like when there are not enough mountain lions in a particular area, deers run rampant. You know, when there's not enough predators in a certain area, prey
But Jake, you can't
grows
keep using
rampant.
that argument because, again, we're not talking about that. We're not lions.
I know,
I'm
but I
sorry,
was
but we're
making
not
a bigger point.
lions.
I wasn't talking about deers and lions. I'm making a bigger point. That's after this point.